you know, you've never said that there's been a lot of tension and shit underneath, and that you hold things in, and that I'm this like kind of mean overlord type that's completely self-involved and kind of awful and doesn't listen to your feelings, and whenever you do say your feelings, I just get mad. And wow, I sound like a really abusive, awful person.
Sorry if your ex was a dick to you. I'm sorry if he left you with lifelong damage that you may never work through.
You know, I think that's the closest semblance to an actual apology that I've ever gotten from you, Richie, so thanks.
It's been almost 3 years since I had a horrible breakup, a horribly public breakup, which I was the antagonist, and okay, that's bad, but at what point is this excessive? At what point do I get my life back?
I love this. Are we just gonna ignore the public breakup you had with Roy recently, which is why I did the video?
Hi, my name is Roy, and I fucking suck at talking on camera, but since these comments have kept happening anytime someone talks about poor, bullied little social Repose, despite the numerous tweets that I posted back in November, I decided I need to come here to YouTube to talk about a few things, clear a few things up, I guess. This is not going to cover, like, everything, because I frankly don't have the time and the emotional capacity to be doing that right now. But I'm obviously not a YouTuber. This is a shit-tastic setup. I'm thousands of miles away from my home or my camera or my lighting, any of this crap that I could have made into, but so bear with me here.
Tens of thousands of hate comments in a day when I haven't really done anything in a long time, and I've reflected and like apologized and kept to myself.
Dude, we dated last year. I finally dumped you after several months of you near constantly using me, gaslighting me, cheating on me, less than 6 months ago. Just because the internet isn't holding you as accountable for what you did to me as for what you did to your previous exes who had platforms and channels and whatever else, doesn't mean it didn't fucking happen. I don't know how you're still trying to sweep what you did to me under the rug. You haven't been mentioning me by name or anything because you don't want, you know, people to find me, but you're still trying to garner sympathy from your fan base because of how miserable and sad you are, but you don't want to address doing so directly? Make it make sense, dude. Make it... What? I don't believe that you have ever actually once been genuinely sorry for something fucked up that you've done, ever. Like, things that you've said, things that you've done. No. It's not until you get caught that you have your little meltdowns. I really didn't want to believe this when we first met, but given the amount of time that I've spent with you at home, on vacation, on tour, over the couple months that we were together, yeah. You're a terrible person.
Imagine being immortalized as the worst version of yourself.
Like many of you do or did, I didn't want to believe that this worst version of himself that had been immortalized forever online wasn't actually who he really was. It had been 2 years since all of that shit went down, with like constant reminders online every day reminding him of what he did and to do better. So surely after all of that time passed, he must have gotten better, right? Wrong! So wrong. So very wrong. He has not changed. He has just gotten quieter about the shitty choices that he makes. Not mistakes, choices. And y'all have just been paying less attention. So spouting off shit like this is exactly what causes new people to fall into the trap and lets him continue to get away with doing this shit, because time does not mean change. Change does.
Calling me this abusive, awful person when I've never laid a finger on anyone, and I lied. I guess, is lying considered abuse?
I believe at this point it is beyond safe to say that Richie is a serial cheater and a serial emotional abuser.
Because if so, then I guess we're all abusers.
I feel like at some point or another, everyone in their lives has done emotionally abusive things. I know I have, but I swear to you, it's like the cycle, the repetitive cycle of what he does to anyone who will give him the chance is down to a science. It is the same shit over and over and over again. Boy meets girl. Boy makes girl feel special. Things are great for a while, as long as girl ignores all of the blaring red flags. Boy lies to girl about what he's doing the moment she takes her eyes off of him, and then he makes her feel crazy for doubting or questioning him. Meanwhile, boy is totally, actually balls deep in that one ugly, annoying girl. Boy watches girl crumble under the incessant feeling that she needs to please him, despite him constantly being pessimistic and ungrateful for literally everything. Girl breaks up with boy because she's sick and tired of being treated like shit and cheated on. Boy threatens to kill himself after she leaves. But instead, boy makes overly dramatic, mediocre music and YouTube videos about it. And after he's made enough money, boy decides to move on with his life. And then anyone who brings it up after this is bullying him. Because even though he's learned nothing, his behaviors have changed none, he deserves his own little life and to just be left alone now. You had another girl over before we were even finished breaking up over text, okay? Like, she was there, and you were texting me, and I was texting you about how shitty you are. And you had another girl over already. You couldn't even wait like an hour. There have been more girls since me. Like, he hasn't just been alone and thinking about the consequences of his actions and how he'll do better next time. No, he's still up to the same shit. And I really worry about those girls, because he's not who he's trying to make himself out to be to you. He's not.
It's not a complicated thing. Like, if you want to do polyamory relationships and have a bunch of girlfriends and go all around, that's fine. There's nothing inherently wrong with that.
Now, there was a portion in Richie and I's relationship where we were non-monogamous. We had an open relationship, and there were some ground rules that came with that. For example, always using protection and always telling your partner, the person that you are sleeping with, speaking to, whatever, just to name some. And I'll let you know, he broke every single one of those rules. It is possible to cheat in open relationships. It is possible to cheat in polyamorous relationships. It is possible to cheat in all types of relationship. If you are not following the rules that were set for that relationship, you're cheating. You're fucking it up. There was even one girl who was completely off limits. One. And despite him telling me that he had ceased communication with her entirely, he still managed to maintain a pretty constant relationship with her and slept with her several times over the course of our relationship. Like, permission to sleep with other people for people like Richie is like how legal weed doesn't seem to get you as high, okay? Like, the secret ingredient for these people is crime. Yeah, and then he lied to these girls about our relationship closing and claimed that it was because it wasn't clear enough as to when that happened. But, these seem pretty fucking clear. People need to stop suggesting non-monogamous options for relationships for people who have issues with cheating, because it's not the fucking answer. In fact, non-monogamy actually requires even more trust, communication, and respect than an average monogamous relationship. More so. Richie can't handle that shit with one partner. Like, if someone cannot handle respecting their relationship and being openly communicative with one partner, what the fuck makes you think they're going to be able to do so with several?
Like, Richie, I don't think you understand the severity of what cheating on your partner does to the person who's been cheated on. It destroys them. It makes their identity, it makes their self-esteem, it makes their self-worth literally just drop. It's not something that's pretty. It deeply affects the people involved and their friendships and their families and everybody around them. And I don't think that you understand the amount of pain and hurt that you can cause people by what you've done.
Yeah. I am eternally grateful for my friends and family that were there for me after the initial breakup and outing back in November, because holy crap, I needed them. And my mom especially, seriously. Like, that woman has never not liked a partner of mine before. I'm still cool with most of my exes, and she fucking hated him from the get-go. Like, she knew. She was one of the few people who knew about our relationship as it was happening, because I was scared to tell people, frankly, for a million reasons. I'd never even been cheated on before. all this. Richie was my shortest relationship, but easily the most damning, fucked up whirlwind of a hellhole that I have ever been through with a partner. My self-esteem fucking plummeted. Like, my ability to trust people, like anything that anyone said to me was just gone. My want to have an intimate relationship with someone ever again at this moment in time is non-existent. It's safe to say that I'm doing a lot better now than I was a couple months ago, but it's no thanks to him. It's all thanks to me, and thanks to the people around me that helped me pull my shit back together after that, because I fucking crumbled hard. I still get invalidated on a regular basis from people on the internet, either not knowing who I am or not caring who I am, as if I don't have a voice in the fact that, you know, like, I actually have something meaningful to say, instead of, oh, well, you know, that shit was 2 years ago. Like, no, it wasn't. I mean, yes, that was, but his actions are still happening. His shitty actions are still happening. But it's like, I had to say something about it. I had to say something about it as myself on this platform, because a lot of other commentating channels and drama channels have been talking about it, and I really wanted to avoid making a video, which is why I didn't initially. Like, as you can tell, I have a bit of a stutter. It's just, I'm not good with cameras, but I felt like I needed to speak about this here.
I don't think you acknowledged that. And I don't know if you ever are going to acknowledge that fact. You can say a sorry to a camera as many times, but I'm going to repeat myself for the 50th time. Words mean nothing unless they are consistent with your actions.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't care if you hate him for what he did to any of his previous exes. He probably isn't going to care that you hate him for what he did to me, or any of the other women in recent times, the last 2 years, who lacked the platform or courage to speak up. The only things that he cares about are his money and his dick. His hatred towards YouTube and other YouTubers for rejecting him, either algorithmically or socially, is comically intense. He would go on these like hour-plus long rants to me on a regular basis, just fucking bitching and complaining about YouTube and about his life and about his friends and about his family and about his career and about his music and just fucking anything. And I always did my best to seem as non-judgmental as possible so that he would actually be open with me. He once told me that he wished that he could cut off his dick and put it in a jar or something because he didn't want it anymore, because it ruined his life all the time. I'm sorry, are you blaming the brainless appendage attached to your body so that you don't have to blame yourself? Because it's not your dick that did it, dude. It's you with your dick. A few examples of some of the more fun things he's told me was about how when cheating, the first time is always the worst time. The first time he'll be like, oh shit, man, damn it. But then apparently every time after that is just like, welp, that's fucked up. Rishi doesn't need a girlfriend. He needs a fucking therapist. And it's mind-blowing to me now that I stayed with him through hearing shit like this from him. Like, there was a lot more than just that, but it's like, I wish I could explain to you the logic behind, or lack thereof, behind staying with shitty people when you know they're shitty, and you know you deserve better, and you know that you could just leave, and it's not that fucking easy. I thought that it would be, considering I had never been in something like this until this, but it's not. Like, I wish I had an answer, but, you know, I'm proud of myself for leaving when I found out that he had cheated on me the first time, and I'm proud of anyone who has ever left a shitty, abusive relationship, and I'm sending courage to people who need to do that right now, because they should. His repeatedly failed relationships are his own fault. His failing channel, career, friendships, everything is his own fault. The mountains of shit that he receives for being held accountable for his own shitty choices, not mistakes, choices, are his own fucking fault. From what I can see, he has taken no actual steps to change his life and change his actions. He just shaves his head on camera and writes a fucking album about it and calls it a day. I feel no sympathy for him, and neither should you. Stay the fuck away from his channel, and stay the fuck away from him. And yeah, I'm talking to you, the girl who was spotted out on a date with him the exact same night he uploaded this crock of shit.
I'm living in a fever dream in which I shall never wake.
Please stop talking to him before it's too late. I promise you, his mediocre dick and really cute cat is not worth it. I really miss you, Scorn. But Roy, I don't want his dick. I just like his music. Stop talking about his personal life, because you're making it hard. His music is about his personal life. Like, he's written songs about me, as well as previous exes, and none of us are fucking cool with that. His music and videos fund his personal life. They paid for the hotels and flights for the girls that he cheated on me with. So, like, as long as you're okay with that, I mean, be selfish, go nuts. Because I can't afford what it does to me mentally to try to change y'all's minds on an individual basis the way that I did after my initial outing. Being told by people that they were sorry for what he put me through, but not sorry enough to discontinue supporting him, hurt almost as bad as going through what I did. I deserve to move on. Jacqueline deserves to move on. Ayala deserves to move on. Social Repose does not.